A life spent making mistakes is not only more honorable, but more useful than a life spent doing nothing. That is George Bernard Shaw in a series right now called Words of Wisdom. My name is Tally. I'm a life and personal development coach, and I work with leaders to create lives of overflowing impact in the world that are centered in a place of joy, getting you aligned to who you most truly are, getting you firing on all cylinders. We look at every important area of life and get you creating a life that you absolutely love living. And so we have been coming live every day for, months now, since March, just offering wisdom and value, some of the mindset hacks that I use with my private clients, just looking at right now in a series of wisdom and learning just how do we apply some of these things that people have spent a lifetime really getting and understanding and knowing experientially in themselves, and how can we translate that into applying that to our lives. So today's quote is, a life spent making mistakes is not only more honorable, but far more useful than a life spent doing nothing. And again, that's George Bernard Shaw. So one of the things that I love about this quote is not only does it give you permission to make mistakes, but it actually promotes it. And there's something for those of us who can have tendencies toward perfectionism, and I think all of us struggle sometimes and in some ways with that fear of making mistakes, of failing, of not doing something well, of trying something that you kind of want to do, but you feel not well equipped for. And I think, at least this is true for me and a lot of the clients that I coach, a lot of times if we don't know that we're going to be successful with something, we don't want to try. Or we kind of back off of that. And I don't remember who I was listening to recently, or maybe a book I was reading or a podcast. I don't know. I'm always filling my mind with things. But I remember hearing recently, you always get a result. With anything that you try, you get a result. And if we can, this is my own part of this, but if we can take off these labels of good and bad, or right and wrong, or failure or success, and just be able to look at it and go, okay, I tried this, I got this result, and what is it that I want to learn from that? There's always a result, and if we can not judge the result, we can just look at what worked about that for us and what didn't work about that, and what we could tweak or learn from it, how we could shift it to get a different result that we like even better next time. Then making mistakes becomes just a wonderful part of it all. If we can stop judging the outcome as good or bad, but just go, okay, we did this thing and we got this result, and what could make it better, then all of it is learning, all of it is growth, all of it is just a fun part of the journey and the process of becoming, of creating. If we can approach it almost from an artistic standpoint, we're just going to try this thing, and we have this sense of permission and freedom and creativity to try something and to see what happens. Kids are that way. Kids are just they just do things and see what happens, and then there's learning that happens in that. I remember some of the things my youngest son would do growing up. I was always like, interesting that you just wanted to see what would happen if you took scissors to your brand new shirt and just did this, and he created a hole in his brand new shirt. I was like, so you just wanted to see what would happen if you did that, huh? He's like, yeah, I just wanted to see what happened. I was like, so that's what happened. Now you have a hole in your new shirt. What'd you learn from that? It's like, maybe don't put scissors on my new shirt. Okay, cool. So this was we got a result there, and he learned something. So there's something that I have been there's a part of me that's why would you do that? Why did you not think through what would happen? And then there's a part of me that loves his approach to life. It's just I'm just going to do stuff and see what happens. I think there's a freedom in it that I really appreciate and probably wish that I had more of. So for whatever it is worth, that's where my brain just went today with that quote. And I hope that it inspires you to just give yourself a little bit more freedom, a little bit more permission to play in the space of try something and see what happens. Even if it's kind of like you might have been able to think through that and see where that would end up. Sometimes just experiencing it, sometimes just doing something for the sake of doing it is worthwhile. And we learn so much by the process of experience. Like we can think it all out, but sometimes just experiencing something and trying something and feeling the freedom to try something is worth so much in our journey. So hopefully this supports you in feeling freedom and feeling permission and trying something and just seeing the result without judgment. So blessings. I will sign off with a quote one more time. A life spent making mistakes is not only more honorable, but more useful than spending a life doing nothing. George Bernard Shaw. We'll be back again tomorrow with another quote in our series, Words of Wisdom. Blessings. Have a beautiful rest of your day. Making mistakes, creating results, and having fun with it all.